Published earlier this month says mindfulness meditation courses may be as effective as common medications when it comes to reducing anxiety.
This was a big study. So when it comes to our kids or even your busy life, what is the best way to introduce mindfulness in an effective way? Here with us now is Dr. Laura Saunders. She is a child psychologist at the Institute of Living. Welcome, Doc.
Hello, friends, and happy Wednesday.
Well, you must have been excited to see this study come out, right?
Well, yeah, it came out in the Journal of the American Medical Association for Psychiatry. So that's a pretty serious journal, pretty well, peer-reviewed. And it found that out of 276 adults with untreated anxiety, half the patients were assigned to take Lexapro, half the patients were assigned to an 8-week course on mindfulness. And they found that both had a 20% reduction in their anxiety symptoms over the 8 weeks. So that's pretty amazing. It should be noted that antidepressants are effective for some people.
Right.
But for those people that have serious side effects from medications, this is an option. But again, it takes more effort and work to do daily mindfulness than it does to just take a pill.
And it should be noted that just because you're on medication doesn't mean that you shouldn't be learning mindfulness, because I know you've told us before the pills and the skills together give us the most benefit, right?
Absolutely. And I also think it should be noted that we all have anxiety. Anxiety in and of itself is not abnormal.
Yeah.
It is not, it's okay. Anxiety sometimes motivates us. What is problematic is when it hinders our functioning.
You might not know this, and I might be putting you on the spot, but do you know what the study participants had to do? Was it a 5-minute research? Was it meditation? Was it a 20-minute, 45 minutes?
They were doing that whole MBSR course, which was about 40 minutes a day once you were done with it, right, Doc?
Yeah, and while this was a research study, so it's a little bit more kind of rigorous in how they were doing it, there is benefit from doing 5 minutes a day of mindfulness.
Right.
It is really about bringing yourself into the present moment. It's similar to meditation, right? It's a skill. And people think, oh, I can't meditate or I can't do mindfulness because I get distracting thoughts. Everyone gets distracting thoughts. It's part of the practice. And it's really about disrupting the feedback loop in your mind that causes those anxiety thoughts to just spin and spin and spin.
So I have found, after listening to years of doing Cares and all the doctors saying you need to learn mindfulness, maybe 10 years ago I started this, and I do think even 5 minutes a day, I like to do it in the morning, set my intention, really helps. Show us an easy way we can start to integrate this so we can feel the benefits, and especially with kids who I know aren't going to sit for 45 minutes to start.
Right. It starts out small. And what I like to say is I keep a little mantra on my desk, right? I am okay. I am happy. I am at peace, right? It doesn't have to be something extensive. I have a couple of these on my desk that I keep and that I use for myself. It is really just about closing your mind down for a few minutes, thinking some positive thoughts, letting go of judgment, and being in the present moment. Now, so it really doesn't have to be that hard.
Now, Scott Hannon, who's my psychologist, he's like, your mind is going to wander, but that's okay. If your mind wanders, you bring it back to the same breathing thought. Your mind is going to wander again. You bring it back to the same thought.
Yes. Right. We all have, I think about, I forgot to pick something up in Walgreens, or I need something from the grocery store, or, I have to make that appointment. We all have those thoughts, right? But we release them without judgment. We don't say, I'm so lazy. I'm always so forgetful, right? We don't need the judgments. The judgments don't help. You release the thought and you come back to your breathing. You come back to an image. You come back to some words, whatever it is. You release it without judgment, and you come back to the present moment.
So I know another skill that people say is even just putting your hand on your heart while you do it. It can calm your nervous system. I love your words, I'm okay, I'm this. So doing these things, the point of it is if we practice, when the anxiety shows up, we have tools and we can handle the anxiety. Is that right?
Absolutely, right? It's a way to better manage when you feel like your anxiety is increasing. So think of it like kind of on a bell curve, right? When your anxiety is at its top, probably mindfulness is not going to help you. But when you feel those initial triggers or those initial stressors starting, that's when you engage in just a few minutes of bringing yourself back to your center, focusing on your breathing, choosing a visual image, doing something that kind of slows your thinking down, which then slows your heart rate, and you deepen your breaths.
And again, it doesn't have to be 45 minutes a day. It could be 5.
It does not.
Okay, just want to make sure.
We did a story with...
For some people, they do a little bit more, but for each day, it is just about starting with 5 minutes.
We even did a story with Scott when we were taught to meditate. We were just being in the present moment as we fold the towels.
Laundry, right.
So it makes laundry more... or I have a mantra I call it the blow-dry meditation. As I'm blow-drying my hair, I'm just like, I am... Okay. I am well. So you can combine it. But I also just want to shout out, when we're going to talk about more in the Kara's Cures podcast, but there's a resource out there. I'm sure there are many. You can do this online, but like Copper Beech Institute in West Hartford actually has the MBSR courses, so you can sign up for those. They teach you. I mean, there's ways to learn if you're not a DIY kind of person, right?
Yeah, and there's tons of YouTube videos out there, too.
Just Google mindfulness and find a voice that's good for you, those calm apps. I mean, your point is any of these things that feel good to you, starting small, a couple minutes a day, can really yield some benefits.
Right, and as you said, you did it, you can do it while blow drying your hair. You can do it while doing another activity. It's about being in the present moment, focusing your breath or your motion, and being non-judgmental.
All right, thanks, Doc. I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention. I was meditating the last 5 minutes.
We can only hope, Scott.